Fulbright Scholarship to do my master's at Rochester Institute of Technology. I was there, I think, 2012 to 14, and I did my master's in visual communication design. I'm from Lahore, Pakistan. Miss Marvel is the story of an American-born Pakistani teenager who discovers she has powers, and one of the directors, there are 4 directors for the show, one of them is Pakistani, Sharmeen Abed, and she was familiar with my works. I think she was the one who introduced Marvel to it, going, hey, do you want to check, this illustrator's work out? And I really do appreciate that they have tried to tap like actual local resources for the show. So from the illustrations that you see featured in it, to the music, to the references, like they've actually gone straight to Pakistan and gotten people from there, which I really appreciate, that it's not just a replica of something they've seen, they went to the source. So in that sense, I got like emails from Marvel going, hey, would you like to be a part of it? And first I was like, what? This is a scam. But it was actually them. And so the work is, it's in multiple places. Like it's also in the set design. So like there'll be a poster in her room, or if they're going to Karachi, there's like street art in the background that's mine. And then they got me to work on like an artwork for Eid, which was pretty special, that Marvel is wishing people Eid Mubarak. Like never thought that would happen growing up. So it's been really cool. And then they used a bunch of my artworks to collage and make the official poster for the series, which I see everywhere now. So that's pretty, I'm still surprised by it. Like as soon as I like open Disney or like walk past a billboard, I'm like, wait a minute, that's my work. Like that's so strange to see. But I really like, it's very cool. And people have been so nice about it also. I mean, so it's Marvel and Disney, and it is interesting for me because on one hand I work on like very political topics and like, like it's serious stuff also, like feminist movement back home using my work and stuff. So even when they contacted me, I did want to like sort of only give them work that didn't have like a political or like an actual pragmatic use in Pakistan, because then I was like, this is like real, like talking about like violence against women in Pakistan. Like I don't want that work to be like fictionalized in a Marvel show, for example. So I think I really picked like work that was, like sweet and Pakistani, has women in it. Like they've used one of the artworks is Brown is Beautiful, so it has a woman who's kind of like crushing a fair and lovely tube in her hand. So they kind of like, I was like, okay, let's pick things that are non-political but still very Pakistani, and also like are very colorful and kind of represent women from this part. And I think the show, it does a really good job at just being a very light-hearted, like the actress is so like likable and fun, and we all have a little cousin like that. So I really do appreciate that it's not a heavy show. There's no like terrorism plot line. So I'm like, oh, thank God, like there's nothing heavy. Even I think back home, like we really like focus on a lot of like serious heavy subjects, and I do question like we're not making enough content for kids. Like kids also just want action and adventure and to have a good time, and everything doesn't have to be so serious and like a family drama of a mother-in-law being horrible to a daughter-in-law. So I was like, oh, thank God, like this is like, I hope this just makes us also rethink our storytelling and kind of go towards like even just like lighthearted entertainment that you can see yourself in. Like everything doesn't have to be a drama story from this part of the world. And it's kind of an interesting place right now where people are actually interested in our stories and these voices from the global south. It sounds like there's a lot of buzzwords associated with it, but it is genuinely like there is a curiosity now in kind of hearing these stories. So I think just being kind of genuine with yourself and writing and drawing stories that are personal to you will hit a nerve with other people, so long as you are being really real about yourself. And I somehow even saw this when I was a kid, that when we would get an essay to write a story, we would be like, Jane said, give me the clotted cream, Tom. And I had never had clotted cream, and I've never met a Jane or a Tom in my life at that point. And I was like, why do we do this? We need to like switch our brains to, no, I'm from Lahore. I need to talk about what I see in Lahore. There needs to be like, a Kiran and an Ali who are the main protagonists. And these are also very cool stories. We haven't even begun to tap into our mythology or science fiction, or there's just so much cool stuff yet to explore. So I really hope that this next generation of storytellers and artists are really going to make stuff that we've never seen before. Like Marvel is great, but it exists. And I think Miss Marvel, I think the reason why it's touching so many people is that it is something very fresh. And the writer of that, of Miss Marvel, is herself like a Pakistani-American. So this is really her story, which is why we can also connect to it, of feeling like out of place or displaced or children of two worlds. Like that's, a lot of people can relate to that. So I think the more personal you get, the more universal it can be. So this is a very long way of saying we should write our own stories. And I think there's an audience for it now. I'm doing a fellowship here at the University of the Arts, and it's sort of like a PhD, but not a PhD. So you come with your own research project, and my project is what I've been doing informally, like how do you use the internet to talk about feminist ideas, and how are women in Pakistan using it. So it's very new for me also, because I've never done this from a research point of view. I've just done it from an emotional, like, oh my God, I have something to say, so I will put it on the internet. So now I'm like, okay, let's backtrack a bit and kind of think about what does the audience think and how are other women doing it. So this is my opportunity to do that from Germany. I don't know. I think I just hit a wall also, because I've been doing this work for quite a few years now. And I always had a list of things I wanted to do in Pakistan, of one more wall, or now I'm going to work with artisans, and now I'm going to I had kind of done that. And now I was like, oh, I don't know, I'm repeating myself. So I think these 2 years I've sort of also given myself to learn new things, learn new technologies. I just did a project that required some artificial intelligence coding and stuff. So I'm I want to learn new things and not just feel like I'm doing something on autopilot. And so Germany, Berlin, could not be more different from Lahore also, on just a whole other level. So I was like, okay, if I wanted to challenge myself, I have come to the right place of yeah, I don't even speak the language, but it's an interesting, super cool city. So I'm feeling very open-ended of what the next years will look like. I think in terms of the application, I would say just do it, because I think artists generally shy away from it because they're so scared of GRE and there's math involved. But I would say just suck it up and do it, because I don't think those scores are that important in terms of art colleges. I think they'll look at your portfolio more. So I would say don't be scared to do it. I think having that network is great. Knowing those people is amazing. I think if it comes up in conversation, people are very impressed. So I don't know, maybe it gives me some street cred. And I think it's a very valuable program in general for Pakistanis, because we just don't have that many scholarship programs. So this is a very important one for the country. Somehow whenever I meet somebody who's doing good stuff in Pakistan, and you look at what their background is, they're a Fulbrighter. So I do think it has made a positive impact for Pakistan for sure, because you kind of do go back with a lot of new knowledge of how things are done internationally. And otherwise, if you stay in Pakistan, it sometimes does feel like you're just in Pakistan and there's nothing else that exists outside. You don't know how to make it, and leaving Pakistan is very expensive. And so I think it's just nice to be a part of. It's definitely a very important program. I'm a Fulbrighter. My younger sister is also a Fulbrighter. So I think just for our family alone, we could have never gotten this education without the Fulbright. It could be, of course, more inclusive. I think also getting the Fulbright is Pakistan being such a class divided country. I think it still goes to people who are already very privileged. So I think that could be expanded on more of how to reach people, because the application, it's a very extensive one. You need to have a good command over the language, and the GRE, it's not an easy scholarship to get. So I would hope that it expands more, and we also have other programs that can take kids abroad and also give them these opportunities that you won't have otherwise. So yeah, it means a lot. It really did change my life.